one day after a big hard working day, I get back to my home to see my wonderful wife and kids, and my mood was not so good. So I complain about myself. I say, no, I don't have time for nothing. I'm working too hard. I try to make sports to see our friends, etc. And I don't even have to fulfill my dreams as when I was kid. And she asked me, what kind of dreams? And I said, for example, when I was kid, I always wanted to play saxophone. And as my parents didn't play music, I don't have musician around me, so I didn't know nothing about music except listening to it. I'm a huge fan of listening any kind of music, and I say, I cannot afford to buy a saxophone. It should cost like 5K, maybe 10K or whatever. I don't know. I need to learn music. I need to find a teacher, to have time, etc. It's too complicated. And she she replied to me again and say, look, it's not so complicated. She go to toman.de website, which is a apparently famous website in Europe to buy any kind of instrument. And she said, look, you have the first price saxophone is like 500 euros, and we can have it delivered in our place in 10 days. Let's buy it. We have a bit of saving. Let's do it. And I say, okay. And right away we bought it. And 10 days later, I received a big package with the golden stuff, like these beautiful instruments. And it was not mounted like in movie, or like you can see band playing it, and you say, okay, but how the hell I will be able to mount it and to blow into it? And I said, okay, I don't know. Let's look at YouTube how to mount a saxophone. Okay, mount the two pieces. It's quite easy. And you need a reed. A reed is like, I have one here. It's like, it's a piece of wood. You need to put a bit of to put it in the upper part of your saxophone, and when this part is vibrating, that creates the sound. That's why it's not it's in the wood instrument family, because I didn't know that, and I haven't that, so I cannot play. When I received this stuff and I was like trying to blow, nothing. I said, what the heck? And I was missing this part, so I bought it. 2 days later, I went to Amazon. I received it, and I made my first sound uh, ever. So I was really happy, and then that, like anybody trying a new instrument, whatever the instrument is, with my level of music theory, solfege, which is absolutely zero, I try to play by ear. So I pick up a kid's sound and try like a couple of notes, and somehow I ended up succeeded at it. But I never want to play saxophone to play kids songs. I want to play like real movie songs or jazz music or something. And so I really, as I am a computer nerd, like I'm a computer scientist, expert in math, in AI, in not expert, but I know some stuff regarding neuroscience and psychology, etc. So, and I say, I quickly deduce that for me, solfege will be like another computer language to learn. I can play like C++, Java, PHP, and almost 20 languages, computer languages. So great, it's just one more. It should be easy for me. I tried to look at some courses, and I said, so boring, so boring. It will took me like 1 or 2 years to be able to play at a very slow pace, an average track. And I don't have 2 years to wait to learn this and be able to play something not at the pro level. It will never be my aim. I don't want to have money from music or become a pro musician at a band, etc. No, it's just playing to enjoy the process, share it with family, and even maybe some guitarist friends. But that's it. So no, I will not learn this stuff. But I say, okay, let's try a bit more and learn the math behind the solfege. And my mind like block everything. Why? Because like as any developer, let's say, when you have a computer language that you don't like for any conceptual reason or technical reason, you try to not use it and use another one, and you can justify by yourself. It's like the change. I don't know how you say that in English, but in French you say résistance au changement. It's like your brain it's hard for any human being to change his habits and learn new things. It's easier to stay in your comfort zone. So I was in that mindset. So, but anyway, I justify myself because solfege, using solfege and music theory, you can write music like in 10, the same song, you can write it in 10 ways, different ways, depending on how you want to write music. And for me, it's like a very bad conceptual way of using a computer language. In theory, a good computer language helps you to write it in the good way, and you should have one or two good ways. So I will not say that solfege is bad for every instrument because it's used for like centuries now. Beethoven, Mozart, Bach, etc. So I cannot say, Mozart, you were wrong 200 years ago. It's a bad language. You should have used another thing. You know who I am to say that. I'm computer scientist. Okay, blah blah blah, big diploma. But musically speaking, I am a kid. But anyway, I look on the web. I speak to other musicians, and the first stuff you do when you start a wood instrument, or not, let's say not a wood instrument, but in my words, an instrument where you can put your finger to fill holes, to fill gaps, So a flute, a saxophone, a tuba, trumpet, an euphonium, this kind of instrument, you can just with your hand fill some hole. So you have like, for guitar, you have a tablature, it's called tablature, you have some drawing or images that help you learn the theoretical notes written in the traditional way and compared to the tablature to learn. Okay, I need to put my finger on the guitar like that. This is this note. Let's try to touch the string, and it should sound good. For the wood instrument, like saxophone, is the same. It's called the fingering chart. So I look at fingering charts, and you have a kind of schema representing a saxophone, in some hole that are filled or pushed or not. Each hole is called a key, but it's for non-musician, it's a hole. You put your finger on this, this one, and maybe this one. You blow per. Okay, it's a do. Okay, it's a do. And you have to make them up to make music. So, but the drawing was ugly, complicated to understand. So I pick up a piece of paper, a pen. I draw a big rectangle because a saxophone is a rectangle. There is mainly 3 holes at the bottom at the top for the left hand, and 3 at the bottom. There is some keys and some palm keys, but I have learned that in the process. But at the beginning, I have only 1 rectangle, a 6 circle. I pick up a music like from the famous French movie, which is called 37.2 degree in the morning, 37 degrés le matin in French. And it's this movie like 25 years ago that let me felt in love with the saxophone song. So I mean, I wanted to my first track that I wanted to play was this one. So I took Spotify, I look at this movie soundtrack theme, and I have my piece of paper with like 50 empty rectangle with 6 circle in each. I have printed that in a PowerPoint sheet. I have made 1 rectangle, 6 circle, print in A4 paper. Took my pen and then listening to the first note. Okay, this first note. Let's try some random note on my saxophone. Not this one. It's this one. Okay, this finger is in this finger. I feel the related hole on the paper and make it for the first half minute of the song. It took me like 2 hours to do that. Yeah, because I didn't know the fingering. I have a quite good ear. I mean, I can say if I am blowing the good tonality pitch or not. So 2 hours later, I have my first MVP of my own music sheet system. So I played, and I was able to play the song, and my wife was able to understand it and say, "Yeah, is this the new movie scene you want to play?" The rhythm was awful, the quality of sound was awful, everything was bad, but I mean, you can understand what song was it. So I printed a lot of empty paper like that and try like the Pink Panther, Mario Bros, or whatever. But after the third song, I say, no, I cannot spend 2 hours per track to try to feel stuff. And sometimes I made mistake. So I said, okay, let's try to use my computer knowledge to let my computer help me doing that. So I was looking to the open source format of theoretical of music sheet, which is called music XML, which is an open source format to help musicians, whatever their instrument is, to exchange files and print traditional music sheets, music scores, which the music language that I don't want to learn. So I developed an algorithm to convert this file, traditional music sheet, into a list of images, like my rectangle and circle field format, automatically. So basically there is like less than 30 notes in the saxophone, more or less, 20 to 35, something like that. So I have 30 possibilities for each images. So I have drawn using a PowerPoint, 30 single notes, screenshot of that, saved it as a JPEG, and then on my website, I built something to have a list of images, like my paper version, but digitally. So one kudo for the planet, because I stopped printing stuff for nothing. But I removed this kudo quite quickly because I was still generating it with the computer, making a screenshot of my screen and print it back with my printer. Use some tips, to have like 5 pieces of A4 paper. So I have a music sheet, like giant one, like a big map, before Waze and all that digital stuff. I put it in front of me and trying to blow like Mario, Pink Panther, etc. And it was working. Like for the first months, I learned like maybe 10 tracks like that, and it was great. And other persons that were looking at me like enjoying the process clapped me like, yeah, it's great, look. For once, you are creating something out of your computer, out of your sports area, because I play sport during my entire life. So it was my first artistic experience. I am dysgraphic, so I cannot write properly, I cannot draw properly. I had a lot of problem during my school time because I wasn't able to draw efficiently. That's why I'm a computer scientist, because you have a keyboard and you don't need talents to draw letters the good way. The computer do it for you. So anyway, it was great. And then I said, okay, it's good, but when I need to scroll my screen, because when you have, I don't know, 200 notes for a track, the 200 notes is not displayed in a single screen. So I was blowing the, let's say, 21st note and then stopping, scrolling with my iPad and getting back to the saxophone. So not so pleasant way of playing music. Like making pause to a movie, play, pause, play, pause. Okay, so let's find a way to scroll automatically the stuff. So I improve my algorithm and find a way to mix the auto scrolling process with the big first issue I had, which was repeatedly said to me by real musicians. Look, in music, rhythm is not an option. Rhythm is everything. If you play and you don't follow the good rhythm, you cannot play with other. You cannot play with a backing track of piano, for example. You are stuck in your small universe of playing by yourself, only yourself. So okay, let's try to add this stuff. So I add some new tricky features, techie features to help me scroll automatically each note and have like a background rectangle that was filling in blue and helping human beings see for how long you need to blow this note. Like there is the image and there is a background rectangle that is moving for the good amount of time. Then you say and the other note and the other note, etc. And that's it. It was doing the trick, because I was playing again, recording myself, sending back to my musician friends. Again, another troll like, okay, your sound is still crappy, but your rhythm is pretty good. How do you do that? You use a metronome? You listen to my advice? No. As a good French, you don't follow the rules. Let's do that. No, the first answer of a French guy is no. So in this case, it was quite good. So yeah, I had the good rhythm when I was hitting the autoplay. I had the good notes, and I was able to play like I don't know, like 5 months later, like 50 tracks, something like that. So it was good. And then I tried to share it with some friends, because some friends told me that, can you do that with flute or with tuba, for example? Or my kids is playing euphonium. It's like a small tuba, and he has three stuff to push. I don't know what it's called, and he blow on it and do the same stuff. So I adapt my system to other wood instrument, and it was working perfectly. And my kids say to me, because he's taking course as a kid in a traditional musical school, and there, like, God is music theory. You need to learn solfege. If you don't need solfege, you cannot play music at all. But all the jazz gold black guy from US learned by here and kills any professional that have learned this solfege. It's exceptions. Okay, it's exceptions. So let's be another exception without the genius, talented skills you need to have natively, so that I don't have. So I do the stuff for the euphonium, and my kids try it and say, yeah, it's working, but it's like, you are cheating, daddy. What, I am cheating? No, it's a good way to avoid learning another stuff. And say, no, it's cheating. You need to learn the traditional note, etc. I said, okay. My kids is converted to this religious solfege stuff. Okay. My wife is playing music, but she's playing harp. So she has, to touch like 54 strings using her two hands. So for this kind of instrument, or piano, for example, you need to have traditional music sheets, solfege, etc. I'm 100% okay with that. For piano or guitar also, I think solfege is required, because you can push two single notes at the same time, like making a chord, and you have to read solfege for that. But in saxophone, we cannot do a chord. You cannot play two notes at the same time. It's only a single note each time. For flute, it's the same. For tuba, euphonium, etc., like all instruments is the same. So you don't need necessarily this solfege stuff. So my fingering images, like tablature way of reading music, is okay. So during the first summer, it was last year, I took my saxophone with me, traveling in Spain to see some friends. And among these friends, there were professional piano teacher, saxophone player, and they said, look, can we play together and try? Yeah, sure. He took his piece of traditional music scores, and I have the same one my way, and we try to play together. Not a big success. Why? Because when you start at the beginning of the song, it's easy. Okay, let's start at the beginning and having this kind of tempo. For example, you say to me, it's like, let's start at 120 BPM. Okay, what is 120 BPM? And he said, like that, ting, ting, ting. Okay, start. I try to memorize the rhythm, and let's go together. Okay, and we were able to do it. But when we wanted to play, let's say, okay, Luke, start at measure 25. For him, he has this piece of paper with a lot of notes, bars, lines, and numbers, measure 1, 2, 3, etc. And he can go right away looking at the 25 and play from there. My system didn't have this number, so I was, okay, let's start. Okay, it should be there. Let me see on my screen, taking like forever to find and sync our ways. For me, it was like when I talked to a British guy that didn't talk French, and I tried to talk in French with him. It's not possible, So try improve my algorithm again, and try to add, like in movie, when you have a French native movie, you want to look at it in English, you could add subtitle, So let's keep my system for me with my images, and add as a subtitle the traditional way of writing music, of drawing music notes. But to be able to make this algorithm, the requirement was to learn the music theory. So I say, I cannot do that because I don't want to learn this music theory. So I look at the web, I look at some open source Word teams. So basically the open source is like some techies guys that make some code in the computer and make it available for the internet without money, for free. And then they try to find some services or other way of surviving and getting money from customers. But so I found a team that were located in Austria, in Vienna, and that was paid a bit by the city of Vienna, famous place in Europe for music, paid by big Chinese clients, etc. I chit chat with them in English, saying, "Oh, have you developed something it's called OSDM, Open Sheet Music Display." So a way to digitalize traditional music score into your computer, but well written in the traditional way, which I was looking for as my subtitle. So it was open source. I totally revamped my algorithm. It means I had built my own house, homemade, to play music. They had a better base, so I totally removed killed my house, put their base on my field, and build another house using pieces of my previous code. So for developers, psychologically speaking, it's not easy to say, okay, let's remove and start from scratch again. Sometimes you have to do that. So I have done that, and a couple of months later, I had like my images, the subtitle using this OpenSheet display stuff, and I was able to play my stuff with a pro saxophone player next to me that was reading the subtitle. So it was great. We were playing the same track with the guy with my friend with his professional talent and me with my really beginner level, but we were enjoying the music, not speaking the same reading language, which was fantastic, you know. And to push a bit the concept, I said, okay, I said to me, let's took some real teacher lessons. So I go to the music school next to me, the one my kid go, and ask, okay, can I start learning sax? The first interview with the professor was epic. the girl, which is called Gael, a great professor, saw me arrive like with my first prize saxophone, my iPad, and pieces of paper. And I said, okay. So she asked me, do you know solfege? No. Okay, you can take courses. I will teach you how. No, I don't want to learn solfege. Okay, but you need to learn solfege if you want to play music. You know, I am teacher in conservatoire for 30 years. I have dozens of prizes. I make concerts, etc. Blah 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 blah. I don't want to say to you, Mrs. Professor, you don't know me, that solfege is not good, but I just want to enjoy music. If you can help me, it's okay. If solfege is a must have, okay, goodbye, have a good life, enjoy your religion, and end. But she said, okay, let me see what you can do with the system. So I open my iPad, play a song, and she said, okay, well, it's not so, it's not bad. You have a good sound. The rhythm is good. Okay, it's good. You made other instrument in the past? Absolutely not. Except if basketball is an instrument or track and field is an instrument, maybe. But no, I didn't touch an instrument in my life. Maybe a tam-tam when I was teenager, you know, on the beach with friends, etc. But no. Okay, so and she challenged me right away, like okay, but you play this song, but I'm sure you learn it by ear, you memorized it, and you are kind of trying to trick me, you know. And I said, no, I have nothing to say. I just want to learn saxophones. You asked me. So let's take another song. Okay, give me a song that I know more or less, but I have never played. I will upload the music XML file, and I will be able to play it right away without any track. And she said, no, not possible. Okay, I don't remember the track, but maybe it was, no, I don't remember that. Let's say it was Pink Panther for the example. I upload the Pink Panther theme. I never played it, and I was able with my fingery stuff, able to play it in a bad way as a beginner, but you can recognize the theme. And I say to her, if I had to learn solfege and having the same bad level that I have to be able to read at my first attempt a new song, I had to wait like for 2 to 5 years of learning and playing. I am playing for 6 months and I can do it. I say, oh, okay, let's use a system. I will try to. I'm okay to be a teacher, and I have a teacher for half an hour every week, more or less, and we spend like 10 minutes of the lesson talking about my system, my stuff, and she's always trying to sell me the solfege, but I resist. And but I mean, she plays saxophone, she plays piano, so she can play a Take 5 using the piano, and I am playing with my stuff, and we enjoy the way we are doing it. So I mean, at the end, for me, it's kind of success because I have found a way to avoid learning solfege. Why I have done that? Not only because I'm French and developer, nerdy, weird person that don't want to follow the norm a bit, to be honest, but, but but mainly because I didn't need to learn this solfege stuff, and I didn't want to. I spread a bit the word with people on the net. I let my website totally free to be used. Some friends at work saw it and say, "Oh, I always wanted to learn the saxophone, but you know, the same complaining stuff that I had 1 year before." And I said, "You know, I developed that. If you want, you go to Thomann, you can buy a 500 € saxophone and you play it right away." And she has both her own saxophone, and now she's playing also saxophone. So it's great. So anyway, first day of 2022, I received a mail from Buy Me a Coffee. Buy Me a Coffee is like a free services. I added a button at the bottom of my site, not even on my homepage. I mean, it's like at the bottom of each track you play, you have a not so visible button like Buy Me a Coffee if you like my stuff and you want me to, if you want to participate a bit to the hosting cost, which is like 100 € per year, more or less. All the cost of that is my time because I do it myself. So it's like no money cost except this domain name and the server stuff. So if you want, you click on the button, you buy me a coffee. It's like €1 to whatever number of coffee you want to buy me, and it will make my day. I received a mail with like, Eric, offer you 5 coffees. Okay, who is Eric? I click on the website and I saw a big long message from this guy. Eric is the grandpa, 73 years old, from Netherlands, Rotterdam, and he write me a big feedback like, look, your method. He defined PlayThatSheet as a method, and for me it's not a method, it's just a way of reading music. But anyway, your magnificent method is so great. Now I can play, I can learn saxophone at 73 years old. I don't want to waste time learning solfege. I would never need it. I just want to play saxophone a bit with my children and grandchildren. And now, owing to your system, I can barely blow some stuff, and it's super duper great. So continue on that. I have 1 or 2 suggestions. If you could do this stuff in blue, this letter bigger, and this kind of, okay, I enter in contact with him, we chit chat, and I make his upgrade. He wants it, so it took 2 hours of my time, and now he uses it like almost every day. And he sent me a picture of himself with playing the saxophone, and in a couple of weeks he will send me a video with his first song playing. So I mean, I was developing a tool for myself. Some friends begging me to push it on the web because it could be useful. I don't want to bother me to find a way to monetize it, to sell this to the world, etc. I mean, for me, music is like hair or whatever. It's like for everybody, and it serves so many positive vibes to person. I mean, I am very young in the music universe. I barely allowed myself to say, now I am a musician, I can play saxophone. It doesn't feel right. It's like I am joking to myself, you know. But it's true, I can play almost take five from Paul Desmond, which is a very hard song to play. So at least I can make blind tests for hours with friends, and I entertain them in my own house. So no concert, no crowd, no nothing. but we have fun together. So yeah, this system is like as inspired this Eric guy from Rotterdam to start saxophone, a friend at work to start saxophone, and if he can help people jump into this music world and start an instrument, I mean, it's super cool. It's my small contribution to the positivity that the world required, especially in this pandemic time. So I have made a tool for myself. As an entrepreneur, for once, I have said, okay, let's make it free. Let's don't think about how to have money out of it, to have followers or whatever. I just want it to be useful first for me. And then if it could be useful for other person, let's push it a bit more. And I push it a bit more. It's still very not perfect, but several persons use it. During the journey, I have I made contact with this old guy in Rotterdam, with some person in Australia, in USA, with this team in Austria, in Vienna. And by the way, I've invested 6 times my total income from PlayThatSheet, which means 6 times 5, 30 euros. and paying this guy from this Vienna team. Like there were 6 guys, so let's pay them a beer at five euros each. They were super duper happy. So I received five euros. One guy, this Eric, made my day. I invest 6 times that, and I transform it into 6 person happy. So great, you know, for 30 bucks. So it's okay.